joining us for the 2018 State of the County in Historic New Paltz. Our safety personnel have asked that I please point out the exits to you. There are 2 exits in each side of the room, in addition to the 2 exits you entered from in the rear. Additionally, at this time, if you would kindly please turn off or silence your cell phones and any electronic devices you may have. At this time, it is my great privilege and pleasure to introduce the County Executive's Chief of Staff, Adele Ryder.
Well, good evening, thank you, and welcome. May I ask that you please rise as the Ulster County Sheriff's Honor Guard now presents the colors.
Present. Hein.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now to sing our national anthem, it is my pleasure to present Denise Younger.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through
please remain standing for the invocations. We are fortunate to be joined by Reverend Fernando Salazar and Rabbi A.B. Itkin, who will offer the invocations.
As we gather here this afternoon, we thank you, Lord, for another year where you have blessed us all. Father, we come to you asking you for guidance, for wisdom, support as being this year with us. My Lord, and love and your presence almost being with us every single day in our life. Come and bless our gathering with unity and hope and vision for Ulster County. Because without vision, we have no mission. Thank you. Amen.
I'm happy to fill in for my brother-in-law, Rabbi Hecht. He had a baby girl this morning, so mazel tov to him. At the rate he's going, he's going to be having his own political party soon. God and God of our fathers, bestow your blessing upon this assemblage, upon the county executive, the Honorable Michael P. Hein, and the devoted staff and officers of this great county. Please, God, help us be honest enough to admit our shortcomings, brilliant enough to accept flattery without arrogance, tall enough to tower above deceit, strong enough to treasure love, brave enough to welcome criticism, compassionate enough to understand human frailties, wise enough to recognize our mistakes, humble enough to appreciate greatness and righteousness, enough to be devoted to the love of God. Almighty God, inspire our leaders to inspire all the people. Bestow your infinite blessings upon all the citizens of this great county. We pray for the safety of our police, firefighters, and first responders. We pray that the world be a better place for all mankind, that we rid ourselves of prejudice, hatred, poverty and addiction, greed, jealousy, and selfishness, and that all these ills are replaced with love, harmony, peace, and tranquility, respect and dignity, sanctity of marriage, family, and community. May this great county of Ulster go from strength to strength. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you both Reverend Salazar and Rabbi Itkin for those truly touching words. You have perfectly set the tone for tonight. And thank you to Dr. Corey and the wonderful staff at BOCES for so graciously hosting us. Your hospitality is greatly appreciated. And of course, thank you to all of you for being here tonight. We are honored to have you join us to hear County Executive Hein report to you on our progress and our future. Ulster County government is the people's government, your government, and you, our honored guests and partners in good government, have made improving the lives of our residents possible. People from all segments of our community have come together tonight. It is your vision and your hard work that has helped create so many extraordinary projects and outstanding initiatives. We thank each of you for all that you do. We also thank and recognize the members of our amazing county legislature and all the state and local officials and their representatives who have kindly taken their time to be here with us tonight. As I introduce you, please stand. So it's my privilege to introduce Ken Ronk, the chair of our legislature. Ken, would you please? And I'm also thrilled to introduce Hector Rodriguez, our minority leader. Hector. We're so fortunate to have Rich Gerentine, the chairs of our Ways and Means Committee, here with us tonight. And I'm just going to say we're so thrilled to have every other legislator, because if I do it one by one, we'll be here all night. So I would just ask Lynn Archer, please Lynn, are you here? Yes, she is. Please stand. Tracy Bartels, Tracy. Jim DeLon, Jim. Mana Jo Green. Mary Beth Mayo, Joe Maloney, oh, he's way in the back, Kathy Nolan, and Brian Waltman. And we're also so pleased to be joined by some of our former legislators, Roy Hochberg, Roy, over there, Alan Lamita, over here, and TJ Briggs. Our Ulster County Sheriff, Paul Van Blarkum, is here with us. Paul, in the back of the room. New York State Governor Cuomo has sent his excellent representative, Dylan Miyoshi. Dylan. We'd like to recognize the mayor of the city of Kingston, Steve Noble. We're so happy you're here, Steve. And thank you to the mayor of New Paltz, Tim Rogers. We're in your town tonight. And Neil Batez, the town supervisor of New Paltz. We're also pleased to have you. Thank you. Shannon Harris, the supervisor of the town of Esopus. And Al Lanzetta, the supervisor of the town of Esopus. Thank you all very much for being here with us tonight. So what truly is the state of our county? Or more specifically, what is the state of the county now compared to when we started this new form of government back in 2009? In order to measure progress, we must look to the past. Revisiting the past reminds us just how easily it can all be taken away. This clip from an edited 2008 news report will certainly remind us of what the state of the county was then, as well as the promise and potential that the new charter held.
The charter transition team has been busy getting Ulster County ready for change come January 1st, when it officially switches to a county executive form of government. In the final part of our series, we look at what's in it for the residents of Ulster County. Times are tough in Ulster County. Taxes are going up all over. People are losing their homes, and good-paying jobs are scarce. What's more, new industry hasn't come in to save the day since IBM closed its Ulster campus years ago. But many are hopeful that with the change in government, there will be some answers to problems like these that have plagued the county.
Our best hope is that it will improve the economics in the county, the fiscal responsibility within the county. It will help to eliminate redundancies that are endemic in a legislative form of governance.
So this really gives Ulster County a lot of visibility and gives us one voice that will have more power and clout in Washington and all.
Now, local government experts believe it'll be a big improvement.
I think we're just going to get more efficiency. We're going to get more for our money. And if I'm right, we are going to slow the growth of the cost of government in a time where it's critically important to do that. We may, I'm not sure we're going to drive it down. That requires bigger steps at different levels or in different places. But we're going to bring this into, to some degree, of control and accountability. We're not going to have capital projects planned for $100 that end up costing $175.
As you just saw, Ulster County residents faced a slumping real estate market, a high unemployment rate, no promising new industry, and skyrocketing taxes. Our residents took action, passed the charter, and as a result, today's news story would read quite differently. We have a real estate market that is booming. Unemployment has plummeted. The city of Kingston has an expanding tech and media center. Hollywood has embraced Ulster County as our new and exciting film industry is flourishing, and county taxes are at the lowest level since 2009. It is remarkable how far we've come. The government is leaner and better than we could have ever imagined. Ulster County now is a hotbed of innovation, a cradle of inspiration, an intersection of social and fiscal responsibility, a trailblazer of reform with a leader committed to continuously delivering for the people. He has led us from that bleak starting point to the successes we enjoy today and the promise of an even brighter tomorrow. He is a man whose vision, creativity, and ability to truly get things done makes Ulster County a model of good government that delivers for its residents. And so, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our county executive, the County Executive of Ulster County, Mike Hein.
How are you doing, sir? I'm doing well. Thank you for the home game. How you doing, sir? Hello. How are you doing? Hello. Thank you. Mr. Mayor. How are you doing, buddy? Wow, that's a little bit like dinner and a show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight I'd like to share with you a conversation I recently had. I was having a cup of coffee with a dear friend when he asked me a couple of very poignant questions. He asked how, after accomplishing so much, how did we continue to stay motivated? And he also wondered if we hadn't already made all the major reforms that were even possible in a county government. I smiled and I told him that though I appreciated his kind words, the truth was we're just getting started. We're just beginning to scratch the surface of the type of extraordinary future that's actually possible for the great people of Ulster County. And so, yes, I am proud of the successes we've achieved so far together in partnership with our legislature and others. But what's really exciting to me is what's on the horizon, what we're working on right now, and the amazing things that are right around the corner. And then I explained to him that the difficult and sometimes controversial decisions we've tackled are just now beginning to pay off with the serious dividends we had planned for all along. We've rebuilt the county's financial foundation, improved our overall bond rating, and accomplished what many people just assume is impossible: greater access to better services with lower taxes for everyone. Thank you. Thank you. And I reminded him that our county property taxes in 2018 were the lowest they've been since all the way back in 2009, almost a decade ago. All of this while helping our partners in local government by providing over $32 million in relief to our towns in the city of Kingston to help them balance budgets, protect taxpayers, and protect essential services too. Because I've always believed that real success only comes when we all succeed together. And since we're just beginning to scratch the surface of what's truly possible for the great people of Ulster County, it's easy to be excited and motivated every single day. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can imagine with that kind of long-winded answer just how much fun I am to have coffee with. But think about it. Our $61 million countywide infrastructure overhaul is working better than we ever could have imagined, creating quality jobs and safer roads and bridges for everyone. We're witnessing firsthand the reinvention and diversification of our county's economy, with dramatically lower unemployment rates, the birth of a film-based entertainment industry, and the explosion of tourism spending all across our county. Add to that new home sales that are soaring and sustainable local businesses that are growing, plus we now have an emerging new tech industry that's helping fuel more opportunities, and an agricultural sector that's expanding into wineries, cideries, and distilleries that can barely keep up with the demand. All this in a county that's a proven leader in the state and across much of America in the area of environmental responsibility, something that I'm very proud of, especially in light of what we're seeing come out of the federal government. Yes. Now, sadly, what we've seen is irresponsible and short-sighted actions, like pulling out of the Paris Accord, or opening up our national parks for oil drilling, or even aggressively encouraging a return to coal. So as the county executive, the truth is I'm more proud now than ever of our entire community as we continue to remain focused on science, solutions, and sustainability, and doing what's right as we act locally and think globally. So let's take a moment and take a look at just some of what we're doing together to protect our environment. First, I'm thrilled to report that all 6,320 solar panels on our utility scale solar project are now in place. Yes. That's turned the former town of Ulster landfill from a contaminated wasteland that would otherwise have remained unusable for 1,000 years into a renewable energy producer, generating over 20% of county government's energy needs for decades to come. And to keep everyone informed about exactly how this project is helping protect our planet and reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, there'll be an educational sign on site providing real-time data for everyone to see. But that's not all. We're also reducing our energy needs and saving taxpayers money with a massive lighting upgrade at the Ulster County Law Enforcement Center in conjunction with NYSERDA and Central Hudson that'll deliver just under $1 million in 10-year savings for our residents. All this on top of our ever-expanding network of charging stations and the continued growth of our sustainable fleet of vehicles. And as a direct result of our strong record of environmental success, including the coveted 2017 New York State DEC Environmental Excellence Award, we've now received a special state grant to evaluate the direct impacts of climate change on Ulster County and begin designing thoughtful, locally based solutions that can help. So regardless of any leader who denies climate change exists or sees coal, fracking, and fossil fuels as a healthy pathway to the future, here in Ulster County, we are always going to stand for what's right and protect our clean air and clean water, because I firmly believe that our own future and the future of our children's children depends on nothing less. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, as we strive to ensure a brighter future for everyone, it's important that we as a society honestly and directly address some very serious and sometimes uncomfortable subjects. One that my administration has been keenly focused on from the very beginning has been the critical issue of gender bias. We have worked diligently to shatter the glass ceiling within county government and ensure a professional, respectful, and equitable workplace for everyone. In fact, I'm proud to say that in Ulster County government, my administration hires only on merit. And as a direct result, 60% of all county supervisors are extremely talented, highly effective, and powerful women whom I have an enormous amount of respect for. But the other truth is this. We are all well aware that it isn't like that everywhere else in America. The old boys clubs are alive and well in far too many places. In fact, in some employment settings, gender equality is not just a dream, it's a nightmare. Because tragically, some women are forced to endure degrading sexual harassment and in other cases, even sexual assault. And simply put, if our nation is to reach its full potential for everyone, this kind of disgraceful behavior must end. We've all seen the headlines, the avalanche of discrimination and sex abuse cases that have highlighted a pervasive, nationwide problem undercutting the promising careers of far too many women for generations. And what's often not discussed are the devastating psychological impacts that can even last a lifetime. To address this, I firmly believe that we must set the bar high, empower those who have been victimized, and at the local level, commit to ensuring that our own government functions as a model employer. And so today, in addition to our current extensive employee training efforts, I am adding greatly enhanced anti-sexual harassment training for all county employees to ensure that we're guaranteeing the kind of respectful culture that hopefully becomes a model all across this nation. And thank you. But regardless of whether it's inside the government or outside in private businesses or not-for-profits, we must ensure that the days of abuse and abusers being protected comes to an end, and that a new day of reckoning is at hand. So today, I am announcing the creation of a dedicated Ulster County information hotline and corresponding website to provide all the necessary tools to any victim of workplace sexual harassment in their moment of greatest need, answering the critical and empowering questions like, what are my rights and where can I turn for help? Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we must remember that when our nation is fundamentally unfair for one, it's actually broken for all of us. And as we continue to raise awareness and strive to end the scourge of sexual harassment and assault, I'm proud that our team at Ulster County's Crime Victim Assistance is leading the way. We've designed a first-in-the-state program in partnership with New Paltz Police Chief Joe Snyder, SUNY New Paltz, and multiple local restaurant owners to launch the Ulster County BOCES, or Bystanders Against Sexual Assault, a practical program to educate restaurant personnel who often see potentially dangerous alcohol-related situations evolving before they ever happen. This program provides staff with all the training they need and empowers them to take life-altering preventative steps before it's too late. And we urge every community to follow suit. I can assure you, we are committed to expanding this program all across Ulster County, and in fact, Kingston and Sorgeties have agreed to be next. You see, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I know in my heart that we can change things, that the great people of Ulster County have the will and the courage to lead an effort to end sexual harassment all across this great nation, and to simply say for victims everywhere, this ends now. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in offering a very special thanks to Sarah Kramer Harrison, Cindy Kraft, Nancy Schmidt, New Paltz Police Chief Joe Snyder, and Mike Beck, and everyone else involved in the Ulster County's BOCES for their amazing dedication to simply making things better. And as we improve our community and address other serious issues, sometimes major capital projects are required as part of the solution. And that's why it gives me great pleasure to discuss the much-needed $10 million new family court facility now under construction in the town of Ulster. Family court is a special place. It touches the lives of so many people, where decisions are made that alter the course of lives forever and impact countless children. For me, what I appreciate the most about this is the massive upgrade, because what's going to happen is it will greatly improve critical outcomes for vulnerable children by placing our Health and Human Services operation right next door. So if you care about kids, and I'm confident that you do, I know that you'll care about this project too. And since there's no end to the serious challenges all communities face, I'd like to talk to you about a separate and nationwide issue that's plagued our society for as long as anyone can remember. And that's the issue of generational poverty, a frightening downward cycle that can undermine communities, shatter families, and unfortunately become almost impossible to escape. And in a land of such plenty, I believe it's unconscionable. And so to make a real difference that would actually change someone's life, I believe you have to be bold. And that's why I'm particularly excited about my $11.3 million three-project plan we're in the midst of right now to increase opportunities for disadvantaged youth and improve access to a brighter future for everyone by positively impacting some of the root causes of generational poverty. And I'm pleased to report that because of the quality of our projects, we've secured over $9.3 million in grant funding to help offset our local costs. You see, this plan delivers access to higher education for inner city youth with our SUNY Ulster Kingston campus that's already built and thriving. It will also include access to high-quality, low-cost food plus a safe and secure place for children to play for some of our area's poorest residents by connecting Midtown Kingston to the city's only major supermarket with their upcoming linear park. And this year specifically, we are excited to provide access to life-altering second chances for at-risk youth at our new Restorative Justice and Community Empowerment Center. Ladies and gentlemen, yes. You see, this facility will be part of a major overhaul to the juvenile justice system designed to put an end to what is tragically referred to as the school-to-prison pipeline that's ruining the lives of far too many young people and harming the foundation of countless families. And to make sure we get this right, we're working with an incredible group of dedicated community leaders as well as experts in the field. And when completed later this year, this facility will provide specialized programming to reduce recidivism, improve family reintegration, and deliver targeted employment training for at-risk youth, all to proactively turn vulnerable lives around. This unique collection of projects will combine to benefit thousands of people, and in the process, replace despair with opportunity, and ultimately create a better and more just society for us all to live. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you please join me in thanking the selfless individuals who serve on my Restorative Justice and Community Empowerment Task Force, because it is their hard work that's turning this incredible dream into a reality. Thank you, Reverend. Now, in addition to these exciting projects, which would be more than enough for most counties to tackle in any one year, let's take a moment to discuss the unprecedented volume of other capital projects that we have scheduled for 2018. Simply put, it's a huge cross-section designed to positively impact the lives of virtually every single resident of Ulster County. Let's begin by highlighting the $16 million in infrastructure work this year alone that's part of our 4-year, $61 million Building a Better Ulster County initiative that has allowed us to resurface over 72% of all 423 miles of county road and rebuild countless bridges and culverts too. And ladies and gentlemen, the proof is in the pudding. You see it everywhere you go. County roads and bridges are getting much, much better. And I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge and thank our talented DPW for all their hard work, as well as our extraordinary partners in organized labor for helping make this possible. Whether it's on difficult bridge projects or major construction, our ability to partner with organized labor has allowed us to do so much more than we ever could have accomplished on our own, all while employing more local workers in high-quality jobs. And the real winners of this unprecedented amount of work has been our taxpayers. We've all seen the successes, like right down the road with the Carmen-Lamberta Bridge that provides a beautiful waterfront for the people of New Paltz for the first time since the 1600s, and the town of Shongum at the Walkhill Bridge. We've recaptured all the history and charm of this 100-year-old landmark right down to the antique-style lampposts. And the good news is, because we've been responsible with taxpayers' money, there are 11 more important bridge projects on schedule for 2018 alone. In addition, we are also focused on making our roadways better and safer, including a massive widening of South Putt Corners leading to New Paltz High School later this year. In fact, we're expanding our successful school safety program all across Ulster County with roadwork projects and special extras, like solar speed signs in critical locations, to improve the overall safety for our children. So there is no question, ladies and gentlemen, our infrastructure investments are working. And if all that capital work wasn't enough, we're also committed to delivering on a multi-location solution to provide critical training to our local firefighters. The plain and honest truth is this: being a firefighter is an extremely dangerous job, and sometimes, tragically, even a deadly one. That's precisely why we owe such an incredible debt of gratitude to all those brave men and women who volunteer in the over 50 different fire departments from Saugerties to Marlborough and from Esopus to Denning. And because there's so much at stake in such a large geographic area, we are keenly focused on delivering the strategic network solution that includes an exterior training complex at SUNY Ulster, a state-of-the-art lecture facility at SUNY Ulster, and burning and extrication training split between the town of Ulster and Walker Valley. But the fact remains, this type of capital project is about so much more than just bricks and mortar. We all know in our hearts that it's really about people and remembering the extraordinary sacrifices our firefighters and their families make every time they answer a call. And to ensure that we never forget those who've sacrificed the most, I am recommending that we dedicate the new Firefighters Lecture Hall facility at SUNY Ulster in honor of the late Captain Jack Rose of the Mount Marion Fire Department. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack was an incredibly brave and talented 19-year-old firefighter who we lost tragically in the line of duty. He had an irrepressible spirit and gave his life fighting a ferocious structure fire. And so to honor him and all those who serve our community so courageously, let it forever be known as the Captain Jack Rose Memorial Hall at SUNY Ulster. And ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring Jack's memory and recognizing his courageous and amazing parents, Linda and Gary, who are with us here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we are fortunate to have heroes around us every single day. Sometimes all we need to do is look. I've been blessed to meet and help serve many of them, especially among the 12,000 United States veterans who call Ulster County their home. And so on top of all the work that our dedicated team of professionals do every day to help our veterans access critical services, and on top of the successes we had in ending veterans' homelessness with the Patriots Project, or the construction of an extraordinary county memorial honoring those who gave their lives in defense of our nation, or even the recent massive upgrade to our county veterans cemetery to honor those brave souls who have passed, as well as their loving families. On top of all this, I believe we must do even more every day as we work to repay an unpayable debt. It's also why this summer we are proud to both sponsor and bring to our community the emotionally moving and deeply significant Vietnam Traveling Memorial Wall. Ladies and gentlemen, the hard truth is what happened to Vietnam veterans upon their return home was nothing short of a disgrace. They were vilified and mistreated and not shown the level of respect due those who've sacrificed everything in service of our nation. And though we can never make that right, it's imperative that we learn from it. This summer, from July 18th to the 23rd at Cantine Veterans Memorial Park in Saugerties, everyone will have the opportunity to see firsthand a detailed 300-foot-long replica of the Vietnam Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C., and I urge everyone to attend. For some, it will be a unique and powerful moment to help in the long healing process. And for many others, because of the associated educational components, it will be a valuable opportunity to better understand the true magnitude of the Vietnam War and the significant impacts it's had on both our people and our nation. To make sure we get this right, I am pleased to have been advised by a very special group of the United States veterans who've stepped up as well as an invaluable partner in the American Legion Post 72 in Saugerties. And so I want to personally thank our incredible Veterans Advisory Group and the commander of Post 72, Frank Ruggiero, for their service to our nation first and foremost, and also for their great help in ensuring this event is done with all the honor, dignity, and respect it so justly deserves. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I ran for office to guarantee the voices of the great people of Ulster County would always be heard. I knew that if we were to successfully deliver the kind of high-quality government our residents truly deserved, then we'd have to be bold and take on complex and politically sensitive issues, some of which had been avoided for decades. And in that effort, I've been blessed to work with many dedicated county legislators on both sides of the aisle. As a direct result, we've transformed Ulster County government into one of the most effective and efficient governments in our entire state, with lower taxes and more access to better services than ever before. You see, I want to share with you a secret. I've never met a constituent who ever asked for the politicians to bicker more and do less. Instead, what our citizens want is a functional government that's focused on them and their concerns. And so let's discuss just some of what I believe we must do together to best serve our citizens going forward. First and foremost, I believe in comprehensive campaign finance reform. You see, to me, at its core, this issue is really about exactly what kind of democracy we hope to have. If we truly want a government of, by, and for the people, then we have to be willing to take the necessary steps to protect it. Fortunately, here in Ulster County, we already have something that many good government advocates only dream of, and that's independent redistricting, a process to eliminate gerrymandering and improve fair and open elections for everyone. But there is another part to protecting our fragile democracy that is just as important, and that's getting the influence of big money out of politics. And that's why I was so thrilled when a New York State appeals court issued a ruling that now clears the way for comprehensive campaign finance reform at the local level. Ladies and gentlemen, some would have you believe that this is complex, but it's not. There are 4 key pillars. Public financing, because you shouldn't have to be rich to run for office. Contribution limits, because it's reasonable to demand that political contributions not be exorbitant. Disclosure, because voters should know precisely where the money comes from. And last but not least, independent oversight commission, because that just makes sense. Now, it's arguable that this law affects me as the county executive more than any other local official in our community. And I suppose that begs the question, then why would I propose the law in the first place? The answer is really simple. It isn't about me. It's about doing the right thing. It's about delivering the kind of integrity-based system that our citizens deserve. And as a father, I often look far beyond today. And I firmly believe that our fragile democracy is worth fighting for, not just for today, but for all the generations that will follow. That's why I've asked the most respected good government watchdog organizations in the entire state of New York to help us draft the highest quality comprehensive campaign finance reform for Ulster County. A law that can also now serve as a model for all counties across this great state. To that end, I want to thank Blair Horner of NYPIRG, Jess Wisniewski of Citizens Action, Susan Lerner of Common Cause, and Dare Thompson and Yolanda Jansen of the New York State League of Women Voters for all the hard work of their organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. You see, ladies and gentlemen, because this legislation has been drafted in conjunction with the best good government groups in the state, I can now comfortably urge the Ulster County Legislature to pass it swiftly and pass it in its entirety, because I believe that anything less would be a disservice to the people and a disservice to the noble ideals of our democracy. There are other important legislative actions that are needed too. And as many of you know, Ulster County has made massive improvements in our overall public health outcomes. And as a direct result, we've made huge leaps in the Robert Wood Johnson National Health Rankings. But as important as all that is, we still have a lot of work left to do. Because as much as we lead the way in countless health-related areas, the truth is we have fallen behind in the effort to raise the legal age to purchase cigarettes and thus reduce the deadly impacts of tobacco on our community. The good news? We can do something about this. And as a direct result, drastically reduce the likelihood of terrible diseases like cancer, lung disease, and heart disease too. And the statistics are clear. The best way to reduce the number of people who smoke is to delay the time that they start. And so with the Tobacco 21 legislation, together, we can dramatically reduce the rates of these terrible diseases and in turn, help more fathers to dance at their daughters' weddings and help more mothers to live to see their children's children. So I'm urging the Ulster County Legislature to take the advice of the American Heart Association, the American Cancer Society, the American Lung Association, the Tobacco-Free Action Communities, and loving families everywhere, and immediately pass Tobacco 21 legislation and in turn take another important step towards making Ulster County the healthiest county in the entire state of New York. Thank you. Now, after extensive discussions with Mayor Noble and his staff, as well as an in-depth study by one of the finest transportation experts in the field, one thing is abundantly clear. The best way to effectively and efficiently provide high-quality busing to the citizens of Kingston and all the citizens of Ulster County is with one county-wide system. Yes. And so I'm pleased to report that after a great deal of work and a strong focus on creating the kind of common sense infrastructure needed to support a successful modern economy, we can now transition to a single countywide busing system in the knowledge that it will result in zero job loss, better service, less fiscal risk, and absolutely no additional cost for Ulster County taxpayers for the foreseeable future. And I want to thank Mayor Noble and his team for their partnership in designing an innovative system that can ultimately serve all our residents, all our visitors, and all our local businesses too for many years to come. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And so it is now my great hope that the Kingston Common Council and the Ulster County Legislature will share in the wisdom of this forward-leaning initiative and pass all the necessary legislation to make this long overdue one system idea a reality for everybody once and for all. P.S. I'm excited to announce that all UCAT buses are going to have free Wi-Fi very soon. Thank you. Now, we are blessed in Ulster County to have one of the most committed municipal workforces you'll find anywhere on the planet. From helping a child in need with compassionate care from our Health and Human Services team, to helping a senior in need at our dedicated Office for the Aging. From health inspectors who make sure the food we all eat is safe, to the snowplow drivers who keep our roads open at all hours of the day or night. And from finance employees to 911, and from crime victims assistance to job training, what I see every day all across this amazing county is an incredible workforce. An incredible workforce of dedicated people who are serving the great people of Ulster County and providing the quality of life we have all come to know and love. And that's why it gives me such great pleasure to announce that I have reached an agreement in principle with CSEA, the county's largest labor union, on a new 3-year contract that's great for the workforce, great for county operations, and great for our county taxpayers too. Thank you. Thank you. And obviously, it's my great hope that we will soon receive all the necessary support to deliver on the respect and admiration I believe the great CSEA workforce has earned day after day for a job so incredibly well done. And in the private sector, that's right, they're amazing. And in the private sector, As a county, we are right now experiencing a massive expansion to an exciting new part of our economy. Local movie, television, and new media productions are skyrocketing, which means for all the aspiring movie stars at our audience tonight, like my good friend Alan, I'm excited to say your big break can happen right here and right now and right in Ulster County. In fact, according to the Hudson Valley Film Commission, direct spending from new productions are up over 200% versus last year alone. And that means millions and millions of dollars to the bottom line of our local economy. And you know exactly what spurred that meteoric growth? It's simple. We fixed the underlying economics and ended a broken and discriminatory New York State tax policy. I was proud to lead the charge, and in conjunction with amazing partners, deliver a much-needed new film tax credit to our region. And as a result, not only have millions of dollars flowed into local businesses, but it's also energized a region-wide effort to bring more movies, television, and new media production facilities to the Hudson Valley. In fact, with our new media film tax credit, we've completely flipped the script, turning Ulster County from a place where the economics simply did not work into a highly desirable location with a strong competitive advantage. And combined with our high number of talented local professionals, plus our close proximity to New York City, we are now uniquely positioned for a rapidly expanding, job-creating, and wildly successful entertainment industry for many years to come. But unfortunately, that's right, I'm very excited about what that means. The upside is extraordinary. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, the film tax credit in Hudson Valley, it's not guaranteed, and it's definitely not permanent. It needs to be reauthorized and greatly extended by our state legislature. If not, it goes away and clearly undermines the success we've achieved and deeply harms the economic future of the entire Hudson Valley. And even though it's hard to imagine who would possibly do this, unfortunately, the risk is very real. A state senator from Western New York has already introduced legislation to dismantle this incredibly successful economic tool. So if we are able to continue to grow this industry and reach our full potential as a community, we must unite in our support to extend the film tax credit just as we did to secure it in the first place. Simply put, working in partnership with our Ulster County Legislature, we can get this done together. It's important, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm confident that working together, we can accomplish all this and so much more. Because the legislature has earned my respect. They've shown the will to tackle important but sometimes contentious issues, and I want to commend them for their courage, especially on one specific issue. You see, every time they faced a critical decision in the hotly contested railroad and rail trail debate, they carefully examined the facts, they listened to community input, they debated every possible option, and in the end, they voted unanimously for a compromise plan that truly includes something for everyone. Now, these legislators are very different people with a broad cross-section of ideas, all voting for the exact same thing, a solution that respects our history and embraces our future, one that provides for an exciting new rail bike option in the Phoenicia area and a world-class rail trail section at the Ashokan Reservoir that opens the entire North Shore to the public for the first time in over 100 years. Thank you. This plan also provides for successful tourism trains to continue in the city of Kingston with wonderful events like the Polar Express and more, plus 2 additional miles of track for future expansion. And last but definitely not least, the plan includes a connection to Midtown Kingston with a beautiful and much needed linear park. Absolutely. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I strive to be and have great respect for individuals who courageously advocate for what they believe in. I want to express my great respect for all those passionate individuals who supported what was primarily a rail-only option, as well as those who just as passionately supported a trail-only option. And in the end, I am deeply appreciative of all the amazing people on both sides who sacrificed and came together and embraced the compromise plan that ultimately carried the day. But that's right. Thank you. Great job, guys. But I'd also be remiss if I didn't express some disappointment in the fact that our community was forced to endure as a small but vocal group preyed upon the goodwill of our residents with an extended campaign of misinformation. And the sad truth was, many of those responsible weren't even from our great county. But I want to reassure everyone that my administration and legislators of conscience on both sides of the aisle don't scare easily. And we will always put the best interests of the people of Ulster County first, no matter what, and will absolutely never be intimidated by bullies. And so, as the Ulster County Executive, I'd now like to share with you a few easily verifiable facts that many people may not be aware of. First, the leadership of the Catskill Mountain Railroad both fully supported and commended the compromise plan that was unanimously approved by the Ulster County Legislature. Two, current railroad operations are safely protected with a multi-year permit with additional miles available for growth. Three, the leaders of the town of Olive, where the Ashokan Trail will primarily exist, voted unanimously in favor of the upcoming trail, as have the vast majority of business owners in the community most affected. And last but not least, if conditions do ever change, and in 30, 40, or 50 years the tens of millions of dollars become available and the actual customer demand develops for large-scale passenger service, then I'm proud to have personally negotiated a legally binding permanent easement across all DEP property to make that possible. Thank you. You see, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great hope that we can now put all this extensive debate behind us and together move forward to create all aspects of this amazing new community asset and provide a wide variety of breathtaking experiences for visitors of all ages, and most of all, for the extraordinary 180,000 people who call Ulster County their home. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we live in a magnificent, historic, and patriotic place with breathtaking natural beauty and a broad cross-section of amazing citizens with incredibly diverse opinions. And I've always believed that this unique mosaic is precisely what makes Ulster County such an extraordinary place to live. We can be introspective and acknowledge that in this land of plenty, far too many people go hungry, and racism, sexism, and far too much intolerance and hate still tears at the very fabric of the country we are truly capable of being. We can know all that and still be filled with hope for the future and a deep appreciation of just how special and majestic the dream of the United States can be. There's no question we have much work ahead, especially if we are to reach our full potential, but we must also never forget just how fortunate we are, for there are countless brave souls who gave their lives to provide us with the freedoms we all enjoy today. And while we now live in a world that often embraces sensationalism and social media over hard work and actual success, here in Ulster County, we'll continue to take great pride in our strong track record of shared success on issues that really matter to our citizens, and our bold willingness to run towards difficult problems and not away from them. You see, I firmly believe you can have the best of both worlds. You can care for people in their moments of greatest need and still protect taxpayers too. You can reject the politics of division and hate and still work towards a brighter future for everyone. And as we strive towards that future together, I will share with you exactly what I told my dear friend over coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, the state of our county is strong, and it's getting stronger every single day because of you. And whether you're helping one vulnerable person in their moment of greatest need or helping an entire community all at once, I know that with your help, together, we can ensure that Ulster County remains forever the finest place anywhere to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you, and God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Tremendous.